Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Neville and welcome to Selective Imagery. Welcome to Thanks for the Memories, Part 17. Here we are for Thanks for the Memories. And today we're going to talk about an Art Deco styled camera from the 1930s, specifically a 1933 Kodak Jiffy Six-16 folding bellow cameras. And the 616 reference has to do with the type of film that was used in the camera. It was Kodak roll film 616. And it's one of many Art Deco cameras that a designer named Walter Dorwin Teague, who was an American industrial designer and architect and writer and did a lot of other things, was born in 1883 and he died in 1960. And he did a lot of design work on Kodak cameras in the early days. And a lot of Brownie cameras had different designs. This one here, this is a etched metal with a lined geometric design, which was kind of common to his design, his Art Deco design mentality. He used a lot of lines and different patterns and whatnot. And on the Kodak Brownies, he would like split up the like little squares and different shapes on the front plate, and it might have different colors in each square. So he had a whole series of Brownie cameras that he helped design with Kodak, and we're very well known for that. So this is considered a medium format folding strut bellows camera. It would take 8 images with that 616 roll film. It had a knob on the front, what it called a periscopic lens. You had 2 zone focusing settings. If you and where it is set now, the dot here that's good for anything from 5 to 15 feet. 5 to 10 feet away. And if you rotate this so it's on the other side, it's for anything beyond 10 feet. If you look at where the strap is where you have the nameplate, and it says made by Eastman Kodak Company, and the name of the camera, Jiffy Kodak 616, and there's nothing on the sides like on some of the cameras. Some of the folding bellows cameras that pull out on the rail are the rail type. On the edges here, you had some of them had like a black enamel with nickel design on each side of this, which is stuff that he did as well. The only thing you have on the back here, or on a surface here, is you got the release button to pop out the front, and you have your winding lever. And then on the back, you just have the little viewing window here for when you're rewinding the film with the red plastic lens, and you're looking for or making sure that you're advancing the film to the next shot. And we'll pop out hit the button. This thing is going to pop out pretty quick. And it was a folding strut camera. Like I said, you don't have a door that pops down and then you slide out the lens. It's really kind of cool. And let's see what else we want to do. You have these are like the window areas, okay, that you're looking through when you're framing. Okay, if you're doing a vertical shot, if I tip this down, you're going to look through this piece of glass right here, which associates with that, right? If you're going to do a horizontal shot, you're going to be looking through this piece of glass, which is associated with this. Your shutter is with this little lever. Move it down. Get closer so you can see it. Okay. In your f-stops, you have a sliding metal piece right here. So if you slide it out all the way, that stops down the lens as far as it'll go, which is f22. If you move it to the middle position, you're at f16, and if you're shooting wide open and you push that all the way in, you're at f11. Okay. They also made another version of this camera for 620 roll film, and they call that the Jiffy Kodak 620. So there really isn't anything else to talk about really relative to the camera itself. It's very, very simple. You do have a pull down. You can see it if I hold it this way. There's a little level that you pull down. Acts as a foot. Put it on the desk. Keep it holding up. And that's it. That's the whole camera in a nutshell. So we'll continue with the film itself, which is a more interesting discussion probably. But the camera is kind of neat, Art Deco-y looking, and excellent condition, mint condition pretty much. So we're going to just fold this up, tuck this in. Okay, and we'll talk about the film a little bit. So 616 film's no longer available. Kodak stopped making it in 1984. And there's ways to convert a 616 camera to use 120 film. You can buy these shims, and you put the shims on each side of the 120, the roll, the film itself, and the take-up spool, and then you can use 120 film. And it's from a place called Camera Hack. They're like $17.15 over somewhere over in Europe where they're from. But if you live in the U.S., lucky for you, you can get up the same exact product. It costs you $19.99 in the United States through the Film Photography Project. Same exact item. They also sell 616 film in bulk. And they sell 616 spools. So if you have a darkroom or you're good with a darkroom bag, and you can transfer the film in bulk onto the 616 spools, then you have that as an option. I believe the bulk packaging is like, I'm not sure how many feet of film it is, but it's about $110, something like that. Now, 616 film is 2.5 by 4.25, and your 120 film is 2.25 by 3.25. So it is smaller frame size. So although you can use the 120 film in the camera, it's going to change, when you're looking at the image through those lenses. It may take a little bit of getting used to. You may have to put tape on the top and bottom or whatever, because your film is not the same size and you don't want to be chopping off heads and mountaintops. So it's going to take a little bit of experimentation. Now, as I mentioned, they have the 620 film version of this camera, and that uses the same film type as 120 film, but the spools are shorter and they're smaller diameter because they're meant to use that type of film in a smaller camera body. Now, it's possible some people, using a darkroom, they take the 120 film and they score it. I think some of them use like a cigar, something that chops off the ends of the cigars. If you're a cigar smoker, and they score it. They actually cut the film down and make it narrow, make it so it's not as tall, and they re-spool it on the on the 620 film spools. But good for you is that the Film Photography Project actually sells 620. They not only sell 620 spools, but they sell 620 film with their own name on it. And they sell black and white and color. The price ranges are like $14 to $19 a roll. and they sell Ilford 620 film, around $17 a roll. I don't want to make an assumption. I'm not 100% sure if the Ilford is brand new stock or if it's old stock, but I'm sure you can do a little more research on their website and find out if you want to use the Ilford stuff or not. But they do have their own film, so they've brought that back because there's enough old-time shooters that want to still use old cameras. And some of the recommended settings for this camera, depending on your shooting conditions, is, like I said, you pull out that little metal slide, and you have it, when you have the tab out all the way, you're stopped all the way down at f/22. So you use that if you're doing in a sunny day with snow or sand. You pull that all the way out, and the shadow detail is dark with some sharp edges to it, and you're going to be like one stop overexposed in that condition. A sunny day with distinct shadows, you're going to have tab all the way out once again, f/22. You're going to have good exposure. Slightly overcast day with softer shadows around the edges, you put the tab in the middle selection, so you're at f/16. You'll get good results. If it's an overcast day, shadows or detail is barely visible, push the tab all the way in at f/11. You'll get good results. Heavy overcast, leave the tab all the way in. You have no shadow detail. You're going to be -1 stop underexposed. And if you're in open shade, or it's a sunset, you're going to have the tab all the way in at f/11. You're going to have no shadow detail at all, and you're going to be 2 stops underexposed, which is pushing it too much with the film. You could get away with 1 stop under, 2 stop over. So I just wouldn't bother shooting in open shade or at sunset with that particular camera. The interesting, an interesting story here is regarding the camera. This camera is in, basically mint minus condition with a case, and I paid $29 for it plus shipping, so I paid maybe $42 or $44 for it, something like that. In mint condition, it might fetch $80. Interesting story is, things are only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. To make a long story short, I found an auction house trying to sell this camera for $1,800. So, because of that, I think we should auction this off. I think we got to get out the gavel. We're going to start at $1,300. If I hear $1,300, $1,300, good. 1,400, 1,500, 1,600. Anybody? 1,600. How about 1,550? No, 1,550. All right, well, 1,500. Going once, going twice. Sold. 1,550. Got a great deal. Excuse me, 1,500. I misspoke. Not 1,550. 1,500. You got an even better deal. Instead of 1,800, you got it for 1,500. Maybe worth less than 100 in real life, but we're going to pretend you got a great deal. But if there's anybody out there that has way too much money in their pocket and they're looking at that one that's $1,800, I'll sell you one that's in better condition with a case for $1,500. You get a hold of me, and you give me $1,500, I'll give you the camera, and I promise I'll try not to laugh at you when you give me the money. Anyway, that's it for the show. And as I say, enjoy life, capture some of it, no matter what kind of gear you use and what kind of gear you own, and have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Hey gang, if you like this video, do me a favor, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to leave a comment. I always like to talk to people who've watched my videos. So take care, and we'll see you next time.